So last time, I shared 3 books that helped me deal with my trauma after the loss of my baby boy in 2018. And those 3 books were from a spiritual perspective. Today, I wanted to share one book from an emotional perspective. And so, if you have gone through pain or gone through trauma and you need that completeness, you've healed spiritually, but then you want to heal emotionally, then keep watching. Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Detola Moray. I am excited to be back with you today. If this is your first time here, welcome. If this is your second, third, fifth time here, thank you for coming back. Today, I wanted to share another great book that really helped me with my recovery after the loss of my baby boy. So if you haven't seen the episode or the episode where I shared about the 3 books that helps me to deal with the trauma of losing my son, please check out that video. Those 3 books, I highly recommend them. Again, a bit of background. I lost my baby boy in 2018. I share a lot more about my story and my process in my podcast that I co-host with a friend called Stella. I've started putting up the recordings on YouTube as well. So if you check the playlist called Grief Recovery, you should find all the episodes. I'm going to keep adding more. On the podcast itself, we're nearly done with this season. So you can go listen on the podcast itself. But if you are a YouTube person and you don't want to fiddle with podcast apps, then I've got you too. I would keep uploading the episodes on YouTube so you can listen. Okay, so this book I want to share with you. Wow, I mean, the thing is, I have a number of books on grief. People have sent me books. I bought books myself, which I would read halfway and then put it down. Some I read to the end and they were quite good, but this was the first one that actually gave a number of action steps, and it's called The Grief Recovery Handbook. The Grief Recovery Handbook by John W. James and Russell Friedman. And it basically helps you, it's an action program book that helps you move beyond death, divorce, and other losses. I like this book for a number of reasons. But before I share them, I wanted to tell you how I even found out about this book. I didn't know about this book until I actually went for the grief recovery training. Most of you know that I'm a grief recovery specialist, and it was on the training that we were told to get this book because this was going to be our manual. It's a handbook, and that was what we're going to use. And reading this book has just been wow. It is full of action steps to help you actually recover from your pain, and not just the loss of a loved one, or any type of emotional loss that you may have gone through. Any point where you felt your expectations were not met, or you are stuck because of something that happened, whether in the past or in your present, then this is the book, right? Now, you can read this book on its own because it takes you through the steps of recovery, of grief recovery. It goes right from, it talks about what grief is, and you'll be surprised at the definition. It talks about how to recover, when to recover, the steps. It talks about all the myths, the 6 myths, and we quite share that in our podcast. It talks about the 6 myths of grief. It talks about how we're not prepared to deal with losses. It talks about the steps of recovery. It talks about the short-term energy relievers that many of us use, those things we use to distract ourselves from loss or pain, or the pain of our loss, all of those things. It is a very comprehensive book. It is about 200 pages long, but well worth it. Now, like I said, I quite like this book because it doesn't just focus on death. It focuses on any type of loss that you've gone through that has resulted to an emotional pain, that has resulted to you not being able to move forward, then this book is for you. So whether it's a divorce you've gone through, whether it's loss of a family member, a loss of a pet, moving home, loss of a job, even loss of faith, it covers this book. I believe that one of the authors, I think John James, is actually a believer. But guess what? It's not. It's interesting. It's interesting and weird at the same time that he doesn't really mention. So the focus isn't on God in this book. And reading it, I understand why. A number of believers who have gone through pain are angry at God. So when you come to them again with God this, God that, they shut down. They don't want to listen. But when you come at it from, okay, this has happened, you're angry at God, you're angry at life, but these are the steps. So anyone, believer, unbeliever, can take this book and use the action steps in this book. And when I went for my training, right, because I went for my grief recovery certification, what I remember from that experience, and it was so powerful, it was a 4-day training, intense. Oh my gosh, it was intense. It was a 4-day intensive training. But what came out of it for me was, even though God wasn't mentioned in the training, God was present. I felt him. I felt his presence at that training. And it reminds me of the book of Esther in the Bible. God isn't mentioned in that book at all. But God was orchestrating things throughout the book of Esther. And that's the same with grief recovery method for me, and even this handbook. That's the same. That's what I felt. That's what I experienced. And a number of people have introduced the training to a number of people who have gone on to do it itself. I have taken my clients through grief recovery, and the results they're getting has just been phenomenal. I mean, I can be, when it comes to things like this where God is not being mentioned, I can be skeptical. But I guess because I was in so much pain, I prayed and I said, God, if this is for me, just make a way for me to be able to do this training and let me experience you and let me experience healing. And I did. I did experience. I know I'm meant to be talking about the book, but I can't talk about the book without talking about the training, the grief recovery training that I went for. It was just a very life-changing experience for me. I mean, by day, because we were there for 4 days. By day 3, I thought I was going to die. Well, not like but the pain, I felt like everything that had locked inside of me was coming out, right? And it was so heavy. But by day 4, I felt brand new. So I definitely recommend the grief recovery training. If you want to do it, send me a message and I'll link you up. But if you're not ready for that big step, so it's 3 things, right? You could go ahead and do the training and get certified yourself so that you can help others through the grief recovery process. Or you can decide, oh, I don't want to go down that route, but I need help. I need to heal from my pain. Then send me a message. Leave me a message, or I'll put my details in the description box. Send me a message and let's get you the help you need. Because one of the myths that is actually mentioned in the book is time. Time does nothing for your pain. Okay? So you need to do some work to heal. And so many people have done the spiritual work. You talk to your pastor, you pray, but then emotionally you're still a wreck. So you need to do the work. And lastly, you might even say, I don't think I'm ready to do to speak to a grief recovery specialist yet. I'm not quite sure. Then why not get the book? Get the book, read it, do the action step. Now, I would say that you will be better off doing the steps with someone who has gone through the training, who knows, because there might be areas where you might get stuck if you're doing it by yourself. But when you work with a grief recovery specialist like myself, you are able to go through the process and not run away in between, because trust me, it gets hard. I won't even sugarcoat it. The process is not child's play. And so you need someone else who is cheering you along, who is holding your hand through this journey, who is your cheerleader and supporting you and guiding you through this painful step that you're taking to healing, right? So, in as much as I would recommend this book to you to read on your own, I would say do the work with a grief recovery specialist like myself. There are two types of pain. There's the pain of, the thing happened, right? The thing that caused the pain, the thing that caused that change or that loss. And then there's actually the pain of healing, the pain of going through it. I'm trying to find a way to explain it. So, okay, think about it. Maybe someone broke their knee, broke their leg, and then they felt pain at that point, right? But then they go through surgery, they feel pain, and then they now go through a pain of healing where they go for physiotherapy and then such pain because they're trying to learn how to use that leg again. That is the same with your grief. That is the same with your trauma. There is the pain that you felt when you got hit by that thing or when you lost whatever it is you lost. But there's also the pain you experience of going through the process of healing. But guess what? When you go through that pain and you don't run away from it, you come out much better. You come out with healing, you come out with your recovery, and you are able to move forward with your life. Okay? And that is what this book helps you to do. That is what the grief recovery method helps you to do. It helps you to do the action steps, that painful action step that you need to do to heal. And so I recommend this book. Again, you can get it on the grief recovery website. You can also, and I'll put the link in the description box. You can also get it on Amazon, but go to the Grief Recovery Institute to get it. It's available wherever you are based, in the US, in the UK, in Canada. Go check it out. Okay, so that might be your first step. Your first step might be getting the book and reading it, and then your next step will be working with a grief recovery specialist like myself. There are a number of us all over the world, so you can speak with me, or if you go to the grief recovery website, you would see the names, the list of different specialists. Now, I am an advanced grief recovery specialist, and what that allows me to do is to work with you online, okay? Because there are some other steps that involves the online world, especially because we are not seeing face to face, right? So there's a different dynamics around working online because the work of grief, you need that physical connection. But in the world we are living in now, with the lockdown and all, we are able to work with you online. So it doesn't matter where you're based or where you live, I can work with you. And it doesn't matter what pain you've gone through. It doesn't have to be like mine where you've lost a baby. It could be anything, any kind of loss. I can help you. And I think that is the beauty of the grief recovery method. The fact that these steps work for any type of loss. It's not just death, it's not just divorce, it's any type of emotional pain. So again, you can get the Grief Recovery Handbook on the Grief Recovery website, or you can get it on Amazon. And if you need further help, then reach out to me. Like I said, if you want to know more about my process, about my story, about my journey, go check out the podcast as well. I will put up the link in the description box, and you can get it available on this channel as well. So till next time, I hope that you find the help that you need. If you know someone going through pain or a traumatic experience, please share this video with them. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I share things on productivity, on confidence, on grief recovery, on what else do I share? On anything that would help you birth your dreams, anything that would help you move forward. And trust me, when you heal from your grief, you're going to be able to move forward. You're going to be more productive. And that is why I am on a mission to help as many people as possible to heal so that they can move forward with their lives, so that they can move forward with their assignments. So subscribe if you haven't. Leave me a comment. I would love to know that you stopped by. It really gladdens my heart anytime I see your comment, and I always reply every comment. Subscribe if you haven't. Did I say that already? Yeah, that means I really want you to subscribe. And more importantly, please share this video with anyone you know who is going through pain or trauma. Till next time, God bless you. Bye-bye.